So there are more free courses, podcasts, YouTube videos, and career coaches right now than at any point in history. So if you've searched career change at 50, and let's be honest, you probably have about 25 times like me, but you already know there's no shortage of information out there. So why are you still stuck in your job all these years later when you know more is possible? Because information was never your problem. If it was, you'd already be free, right? What's actually keeping you where you are comes down to three things. And once you understand these three things very clearly, it will completely change how you view your life and how you can create the exact life you want. And none of these three things actually cost you a dime, nor will they be likely what you assumed. Hey, my name is Gavin Weber. Welcome to my second chapter channel here on YouTube for middle-aged professionals. I spent nearly 25 years in corporate sales, sold well over 50 million, was the number one salesperson at 3 different companies. And none of this is brag, just sharing I know and have lived the corporate culture, which is also why I created this channel, to help other people who feel stuck and similar and bored and wanting more freedom without having to wait like 10 to 15 years till they finally get to retirement. And I'm actually building my way out of corporate right now on this channel, sharing it with you in real time and taking these three things I'm going to share with you head on. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to save you about 5 years of overthinking and wasted time so you can get on with what you've always wanted and stop settling, even if you have good life, right? So here's what I see all the time. And I know this because I've done it myself. For years, you feel stuck. You know something needs to change. So what do? You start researching, right? You Google stuff, you read articles, you watch videos, kind of like this one, and you bookmark things. You save podcasts for later. You might even buy a course and then nothing much happens. You got some dopamine hits, but no motion or action was actually taken. You go back to work on Monday, same desk, same meetings, same feeling in your gut, and you think, I just need to learn more. I need a better plan. I need to figure out what I'd even do. I need to save more money first. Like translation, just a bunch of ways to drag your feet and avoid doing anything for real. Look, I did this for years. I'm talking decades. And I would spend my nights reading about people who quit their jobs and inspiration, bookmark all these business ideas, and listen to podcasts about following your passion. You relate to any of these? And then I'd wake up, put on the same shirt, drive to the same office, do it all again, over and over. And I thought I had an information problem. I thought if I just found the right book, the right course, the right strategy, then I'd be ready. I was wrong. And the information was never the problem. I had more than enough. I had too much, quite frankly. The research was just procrastination wearing really good disguise. And here's the part that changed everything for me. What's actually keeping you stuck, what was keeping me stuck, keeping most people stuck, comes down to 3 things. And once you see them, you can't unsee them and you can't just ignore them anymore. Everything you need to know is already out there. Every step-by-step guide, every mentor, every community, every tool, most of it is free. The rest is affordable. That part is solved. It's done. It's 2026. The information age did its job. You just need to find your system or your person you trust to guide you along the way. So what's left? What's the actual gap between where you are and where you want to be? 3 things. Number 1, a plan. Number 2, a desire. And number 3, the beliefs to stick with it. That's it. I know they sound really simple, right? But let me break each one down so you can make sure you move forward. And I don't mean a 47-page business plan. That's craziness and just more distraction. I mean a direction and a next step. That's a plan. Here's what most people do. They say, I can't leave. I can't afford it. And then they stop thinking. The money thing shuts the whole conversation down, like a door slamming in your face. But I can't afford it. It's not a money problem. It's a plan problem. Because if someone sat you down and showed you step by step how to build something on the side that could replace your income in 12 to 18 months, maybe even less, while you keep your job, would you still say you can't afford it? Probably not, right? You'd say, Okay, show me. The money excuse disappears the second a real plan shows up. And here's an example with the name change. Okay. Let's call him Chase. He's 53 years old, VP of operations at a mid-sized company, good salary, benefits, the whole golden handcuffs package. He's been thinking about leaving for over 6 years. 6 years of thinking, 0 years of planning. And I asked Chase a question. What would you do if money wasn't a factor? And he answered in like 4 seconds. He didn't even have to think about it. He knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't have a knowledge problem. He had a plan problem. He never once sat down and mapped it out. And here's, where I am. Here's where I want to go. Here's the bridge between the two. Your plan doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be complete. It just needs to exist, a direction, a next step, something you can do this week. That's it. That's a plan. And speaking of having a plan, a year from now, you're either going to be closer to the life you want or still sitting in the same spot you'd wish, you'd started something. And that's exactly why I built a free workshop called the Escape Plan Workshop. I'm going to walk you through how to find your direction, build a bridge out of corporate while you're still employed, and create a simple plan you can actually follow. There's no fluff, no theory, just a real game plan that will be eye-opening. The link's in the description to sign up for that next workshop if you're interested. I'd love to see you there. Now, let's get back to it. And what we're talking about with the plan, I don't mean like wanting. Wanting is passive. You want a nicer car. You want better weather. That's wanting. Desire is different. Desire is a thing that won't leave you alone. It's a thought that keeps coming back at 11 when everyone else is asleep. And it's the thing you talk about for 3 hours if someone actually asked you. Here's the excuse desire hides behind. I don't even know what I do. And I hear this one all the time from other people and exactly what I used to say too. And I get it. It feels true. But most of the time, honestly, almost every time, it's not. You've just been in corporate so long that you forgot how to want things for yourself. You've been chasing the company's goals, meeting other people's expectations, paying the mortgage, keeping everyone else happy. And somewhere along the way, you buried what you want so deep you forgot where you put it. And let me give you another example. I bet you can definitely relate to this. So let's call her Shalene. 49, finance, been at the same company for like 17 years. Her story was, I have no idea what I'd do if I left. So I asked her some questions, nothing fancy, like just stuff like, well, what would you do on a random Tuesday if money just didn't matter? What did you love doing before corporate got a hold of you? If you couldn't help, or if you could help like one type of person, who would it be? And 20 minutes later, she had this crystal clear picture. She didn't lack desire. She just never given herself permission to say it out loud because she didn't think it was possible. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what I do, I'd push back on that. You probably do know. You're just scared to admit it because once you say it out loud, you might actually have to do something about it. I get that, right? This is me saying it out loud. Now, you can have a plan and a desire and still go absolutely nowhere. And this is where most people get permanently stuck. This is like the hard one, the big one, the one that keeps people stuck for decades. Belief that it'll actually work for you. Not the 20-year-old YouTuber who quit and moved to Bali. Not for the trust fund kid who started a company with daddy's money, right? For you at your age, with your mortgage, with your kids, with your responsibilities. The excuse belief hides behind, what if I fail? Which is really just a dressed up way of saying, I don't believe I can do this. And honestly, that belief makes sense. It does. You spent 20, 25, 30 years in a system that told you your worth equals your title plus your salary. Of course, you don't believe in yourself outside that system, right? I had to look at this really hard. You were never supposed to. That's how the golden handcuffs work. But here's what nobody's telling you. People between 55 and 65 are 65% more likely to start a company than people in their 20s and 30s. And it's not far off from that from like 45 to 55. That's not motivation. That's data. And it's beyond encouraging. And even better, 82% of people who make a midlife career change report the same or higher income within 2 years. 82%. Your age isn't a problem. It's an advantage. You have 25 years of experience. You have relationships. You have pattern recognition that no like 25-year-old has. That's not a liability. That's a superpower. The belief problem isn't about whether you can do this. The evidence says you can. The belief problem is whether you let yourself. So look, here's where we are. You don't need another course. You don't need another article. You don't need to save more money or wait for the right time to figure it all out before you start. You need a plan, a direction, and a next step. You need desire, the real kind, the kind you've been buried, and you need belief, not blind faith, just enough belief to take one step and see what happens and keep going. That's it. Those are the three things. Everything else, the knowledge, the tools, the communities, the help, it's all out there. It's waiting for you. You just have to decide you're ready to go get it. And then you have to know where to look and how to use it. And let's do this real quick. I want you to imagine this something, for a second. Imagine waking up on Monday and actually wanting to work. Not because you have to, because you built something that matters to you, that you enjoy. Imagine looking back at this moment right now, you watching this video, whatever time it is, and thinking, that's when I stopped researching and started doing. You're not too old. It's never too late. Now is your time. And if you're already in it, if you're in the messy middle right now, like I am building something while still going to your day job, trying to figure it out, I see you. Keep going. The fact that you started put you ahead of 95% of people who are still sitting there in the car parking lot, scrolling through their phone, wishing things were different. Permission granted, go. If you want help with that first, piece of the plan, this is where I struggled. I built a free workshop called Escape Plan Workshop. And it walks you through exactly how to figure out your direction and build a bridge out of corporate. The link's in the description. And if this hit home for you, again, drop a comment and tell me which of the three, plan, desire, or belief, is the one you're stuck on right now. And read every single one of these. And I mean that. I'm documenting this whole journey in real time. Would love for you to subscribe. I'm sharing the wins, the failures, the messy middle, all of it. And if you want to come along, like I said, join us and our community. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you and see you in the next one.